Hello, my name is Keith Marshall, and welcome to the Kickin' It with Keith show. I want you to sit back and relax. This is show number 170. This is my quarantine show. So you see, I got my 805 mask on. I'm representing. Of course, I tell you, we have to be really, really careful with how we deal with each other. And today is going to be stepping out of my box to give me an opportunity to see how well I just work from home. So I'm going to take off the mask so you can hear me a little bit more. So I'm going to do that first. All right, here we go. Thank you for tuning in to the Kicking It with Keith show. I just wanted to show my respect for all the people out there. First of all, I'd like to give praise and thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without him, none of this would be possible. I tell you, we're living in some real tough times now. And all I can tell you is that I wanted to do this show, boy, for the last 2 or 3 months. I just been itching to get back out there. But because the studios are closed, they told me that I could do something from home. So I'm going to give this a try today. So I want all my fans to sit back and kick back and relax, because we're going to have a good time today. We're going to be talking about some really uncomfortable things. The first part of the show we'll get through with the Kicking It with Keith show business and things of that nature. Then we're going to get to a special part. I have a special guest returning, a guest host this time. She's going to be my interviewer, and she's my wife, Linda. So she's going to be interviewing me today and asking me some serious questions so I can maybe express myself a little bit better. So without any further ado, we'll get to our little show business. We'll get our little vocabularies out the words. Hopefully I'll be able to use these vocabulary words today to be able to intertwine them in our conversation. I tell you, we got some vocabulary words today for you. I've had some of them in the past. We're going to talk about some of the past previous shows and how it led me to do this particular show today. So we're going to get our vocabulary words and get them out the way. Our first vocabulary word is vote. The reason why I picked vote, because we're in an election year, and I need each and every one of you to vote. I don't care who you vote for. That's your personal thing, but I just want you to vote. It's young people especially. You got to get out there and make your vote count. I mean, because it's your world, it's going to be your future, and the things that you're going to have to want to do, you're going to have to be wanting to be hold people accountable. So get involved, vote. Don't let nobody take that away from you. There's people who died for you to vote. So please, young people, if you don't do anything for me at the Kicking It with Keith show, just get out and vote. That's what we really need you to do. Our second word is truth. Hopefully today I'll be able to speak some truth to what's going on in this world, because I tell you, man, we're in some tough times, and I don't have to tell you what we all been going through the last 4 months. But it's gonna get worse if we don't really take heed and pay attention to what we have to do. And so it's gonna take all of us working collectively together with each other. That's gonna be really important. So we must tell the truth about what's going on and what's happening in our world, and hold people accountable to be truthful to us. Lie. Hey, I ain't got no time for lying. I've been hearing lies for the last 3 or 4 years. Just lie. All my life, people have been lying about different little things. But hopefully it's going to come to an end. We're going to call people on their lies. And so hopefully I can use that word today. Honesty. We really need that. Passion. These young people are showing passion today. They're stepping up and they're stepping out and they're doing some things, and they're making some people in the past, our ancestors, really proud, because they're really stepping up. And I tell you, I'm so proud of these young people. White, black, green, blue, purple, ladies, men, transgender, it didn't matter. We just got human beings out there for the cause, and that's uplifting and beautiful, and it should inspire each and every one of us. Respect. I see so much respect out there now amongst these protesters. I tell you, that's really important. Joe Biden, you should be really proud of these people out there protesting, because they're letting you know that they want you to be the lead and want you to lead us to get us back to normalcy, so we can have some type of future for our kids and the hope. And if there's a pandemic or there's something going on, we just need somebody that we feel we can go to or give us some comfort, and that's what we're looking for. So we're looking to just show us a little respect. Show your voters the respect that they deserve, and that's letting them know that you got their best future in hand. Life. All of our lives are at stake right now. Our livelihood is at stake. Our kids' future's livelihood is at stake. Every time you see these kids graduating and doing these virtual things on the computer and stuff, that's just uplifting, because these people are being creative. So I just love the creativity that these young people are going to be giving us in the future, because this is going to make everybody step up their game. And so reach down inside of you and find out what you really are worth. Kindness. Oh, I tell you, Mr. Rex Hart that was on my show a couple months ago, he really has inspired me. Little did I know that his word kindness was going to be so heartfelt and uplifting, and what it's going to be needed for this world and today we're dealing with now. Kindness. If everybody, I'm just asking everybody who ever see the Kicking It with Keith show or ever see this video or see my show, I just want you to everybody just try to do one act of kindness a day. And I think things will just turn around for all of us. So I'm asking everybody to just, take 10 days, 10 or 14 days, and write down which act of kindness were you able to offer or do or complete that particular day, and see how the world changes. So I'm going to ask everybody just one little act of kindness. Even if it's just calling someone that you haven't talked to in a long time and just tell them hello, tell them you love them. That's an act of kindness. Just checking on your next door neighbor. That's an act of kindness. If you see someone in the store short some change, don't let them ask. Just give them a couple dollars and move on. Acts of kindness. That's what's going to change this world, and that's what we need. And young people need to see that. If they see the adults act in a certain way, they will follow just in our lead. So it's really, really, we're all in this together. Justice. That's what the marches are all about. That's what people are marching about, is justice. We have a justice system that's not fair to some of us, and it's not fair to people who are uneducated, people who are in depressed areas, or people, minorities, or you don't have enough money for a lawyer. Justice system is really, really tough. We see how the justice system has worked just in the last 3 years, when people are able to break the laws and people are able to go to jail and able to get out because of a pandemic. They don't even serve their time. And we got people, so it's just got to be some parity and got to be some unification on making some of these changes. And so I think these young people who are marching, they're going to make this thing come to pass, and it's going to be some changes around here. Brutality. Man, I tell you, police brutality. I tell you, I can't say this word enough. Growing up as a kid in Los Angeles, in Compton, California, you learn early as a young black kid about brutality. Brutality is a deep, deep thing, boys. I tell you, you be out there all alone, and it can be brutal out there. Some of us didn't come home. And all I can tell you, there's stories upon stories about things that have transpired in the police departments all over the United States. And just the brutality of the police force is just, it's just been really, really unbearable for some of us. And all I can tell you is that we need the police, we need the firemen, we need people to help us and support us, but they also must have to get involved in the communities. I think we need to have policemen have that part of their training. They spend a day in the neighborhood, or they spend a day playing baseball with the people, or they go to a backyard barbecue and find out who John is and find out who Raleigh is, and who, the cops need to know, the police officers need to know who's in their community, and vice versa. The community need to know that they can trust their police officers when they call. So we all need some more sensitivity training. They need to upgrade the training for police officers of all nationalities, all age groups. And just because, like I said, I heard something today. They say you give a 19-year-old, 20-year-old a gun and a badge and send him out there in this vicious world, he's a cocktail for disaster. He's not even mature enough to handle some of the things. He don't have the social skills or the values of what other communities might be needing. And so that's where the training has to come in, the education. So that's where you guys need to put your money. So when you're going to vote, these things are really, really important in your community, and that's what it comes up to. The last word I have on my vocabulary list, boy, I can go on and on. I tell you, I know I'm going to run out of time, so I'm going to get an opportunity to come back and do a show number 171 of the Kicking It with Keith show, because now that I see I can do it at home, I might just start producing shows every day. But you might get tired of that. But anyway, we're going to get to this last word, and that's trust. Boy, I tell you, I can only tell you, that's the word that's like the glue that makes it all stick. If we can't trust each other, we're never going to hear each other. We're never going to listen to each other. We're never going to look at each other. We have to be able to trust each other to break down those other barriers so I can communicate with you. Maybe I might not agree with you, but I can communicate enough with you to understand, hey, what you're really, really going through. And maybe if I listen and get a little bit more understanding about what you're going through and do a little research, maybe I have a different viewpoint about different things. But that's where it comes, is building trust in your community, building trust with your butcher, building trust with your gas station owner. I mean, those are the things that really, really is important in the community, the police department. So more community outreach for the police department, maybe people start doing more ride-alongs and finding out exactly what's transpiring, and that's what I wanted to just share with you. So we're gonna that's all vocabulary words for show number. It went out, Linda.
It did?
Yeah,
Oh.
the screen.
Oh, it's still on, baby. The button.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That's part of doing the show in the home. We had a little technical difficulties. Excuse me, I panicked a little bit because I never done this before. But hey, that's the good thing about it. But I'm black and I'm still back. So that's all I can tell you. I'm black, and I'm back. So hey, here we go. That's for my little grandsons out there. That's our favorite little son. Anyway, my heroes for show number 170. We're back again. Hey, I tell you, that's kind of cool though. I kind of like it because I panicked a little bit. Thank God I got my wife here. She helps me out here. My heroes for show number 171 is Barack Obama, Martin Luther King, John Lewis, Richard Pryor, Elijah Cummings, Nelson Mandela, Shirley Chisholm, Muhammad Ali, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Colin Kaepernick, Eunice Alcindor, and all the Black Lives groups and young people that's out there fighting in the organizations to make people get voting. Stacey Abrams, Kamala Harris, all the ladies that's running, Val Demings, Elizabeth Warren. Hey, all these sisters. These ladies is some tough ladies. So, I wanted to give them all a shout out and just let them know that you all are my heroes. Anybody who's running to make this world a little bit better today, hey, that's what it's all about for me, so I really, really appreciate these ladies and these people on my list. But my main hero today is Colin Kaepernick, and my hero too is Joe Biden. He just became one of my heroes. He got on my list last week, so he's all right. I'll talk about Joe a little bit later. But I wanted to talk about Mr. Colin Kaepernick, as being a hero. What a great example. I mean, the world is coming around, and all he was doing was trying to give us some good little ideas about what he wanted to stand up for, police brutality, and it had nothing to do with the flag. So I want people to really go out and research what Colin Kaepernick had to do. Is just unbelievable that he stood up for what he believed in. And that's I tip my hat off to him. And so I wanted to just make sure I singled him out because he sacrificed a lot for all of us, and so now he's getting the support. And since things have transpired with the last couple of police killings, I tell you, when I'll get to that a little bit more in the show, Colin Kaepernick, I want to tip my hat off to you. You stood tall. I tell you, you sacrificed a lot, but you showed us what it's like to get out there on the battlefield and stand up. And so it was bigger than you. So maybe now you'll get your due. Maybe people will listen to you a little bit more. But I think the NFL owes you a job. They need to give you a job, Colin Kaepernick, and you need to be the liaison for the NFL to be able to work through these communities, make sure every city that's got an NFL team, they have to put so much money into that community for programs, for substance abuse or whatever, and you be the liaison and you make it work because you know what's going on and you know what's needed. So since they want to support you, make them get up off of some of that cash, and you going out there and support these communities and do what you're supposed to do. And hey, we'll just watch you be the community leader that you are. And so I really appreciate you, Colin Kaepernick. And so maybe people will realize that it had nothing to do with the flag and you wasn't disrespecting anyone, because I don't think you have that kind of capacity in your heart to have that compassion, what you're doing out here for people sacrificing. You all right with me, so that's cool. So let me see. I want to get to the condolences about the show, to my Kicking It With Keith show. I hate this part, but we lost a pioneer, Miss Bonnie Porter, in the last couple of days. Excuse me. I got in-house difficulties. Yeah, I got this. Anyway, I wanted to get to condolences part, but this is cool though, because this is what all natural, all live. I don't have no retakes. I've never done a retake, and so I'm not going to start today. So you get what you get. Anyway, I want to give condolences out to Miss Bonnie Porter, the Porter sisters. Oh, I tell you, we losing these icons and pioneers left and right. I tell you, I wanted to give a shout out to Miss Collins from Linwood, California. She was our neighbor. She passed away. She's with the Lord now, but what a beautiful family. And to Angie and Craig out there, I wanted to let you know that our heart and our prayers are with you and your family. And hopefully you guys can just remember how good of parents you guys had and just live for them. And that's what we wanted to do at the Kickin' with Keith show, and give your mom a shout out. To all the victims of the coronavirus, I tell you, it's a sad time in our society. A lot of people have gotten ill. My family have come under some of the effects of the virus, and thank God that everybody's doing well and things of that nature now. So we want to keep everybody lifted up in prayer, and people put on your mask. You see, I had on mine in the beginning. People put on your mask and try to be mindful of the practices that they put out there. I know it's a difficult thing when you get these mixed messages, but hey, we got to do the best we can. Use your hand sanitizer, use your gloves, use your mask. Make your interactions as small as possible. All right, so that's the condolences, and I wanted to give the condolences to the Floyd family, and they had his funeral today, and to all the victims of police brutality. We really, really want to let you know at the Kickin' It with Keith show, our hearts and prayers are with you, and so that's what we're gonna do. Get to the shout outs parts of the Kickin' It with Keith show. I want to give thanks to my wife, because she always supports me and things of that nature. And so she's going to be my guest interviewer today. And so we're going to get to that pretty soon. To my grandsons, AJ and Tyler, I wanted to let you know that, hey, Granddad really missed playing tennis with you guys. But, hey, I'll come down and we do a little drive-by hugs and stuff like that. So I'll get to see you like that. To my daughters, Amelia and Deidre, I love you, and I wanted to just always keep you lifted up in prayer and let you know that your dad is always here for you. Miss Taylor in North Carolina and John and Kim in North Carolina, you guys be safe. And hey, I enjoyed talking to my brother John. I tell you, we have some good conversations, but I got to check on him because he's in North Carolina, so they say the virus is spreading a little bit more, so I need to check with him. But what a good person I met, and I tell you, I really enjoy him being in my life. To Miss Maddie out there in San Fernando Valley, and my sister Maddie, I like to keep her, and my sister Claire and brother Ron up there in San Francisco. We'll get together soon, all the shout outs, and to the Valley Fountain Church, my church, Pastor Ronald Crockett. Want to give him a shout out too. You've been doing great on the video Zoom church Sundays, and so that's really, really good. I think it's brought you out of your shell a little bit and let you be a little bit more creative. So we're blessed that we have Pastor Ronald Crockett leading us in the way and from our spiritual standpoint. To the Golden Girls, June, Miss Maggie and Miss Beverly in Orchid, we just wanted to let you know that, hey, you guys just keep hanging in there, and we'll have some dinner and stuff together soon. To all my dance classes at the YMCA and the Parks and Rec, in Santa Barbara, California, and Lompoc, California. I tell you, I really miss the ladies and gentlemen in my class. I tell you, there's a hole in my heart because I haven't got a chance to dance with you guys in about 4 months now. And so I can't wait to get back on the dance floor, and we'll do our little dance fitness and stuff like that. But I hope you've been watching the videos out there. You go out to the YouTube and watch Dance Fitness with Keith, and just punch in Dance Fitness with Keith, and there's 4 videos that you can watch for and the testimonies and things like that. And so you can dance with me till I get back into the YMCA and the Parks and Rec. So without any further ado, I think that takes care of all my show business. That was about 19 minutes. So I got about maybe 35 minutes to get this interview down. And I know we won't cover everything, but hey, here it is. And we're going to see if we can make this happen. And so without any further ado, I'm going to introduce my ghost interviewer, my wife, Linda Williams. How you doing, Linda?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm blessed. I hope we can make it through this. I'm going to take a little drink here.
Well, I'm going to start with the quarantine situation.
All right, the quarantine.
Into the other more deep conversations.
Okay. All right.
But what was the worst part of quarantine for you?
Well, I tell you, Linda, golly, that's a tough question, but I'm going to try to break it down like this. The worst part of quarantine, how it affected me personally, because all the businesses that I do were affected. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I've been on a hair salon in Santa Barbara, California, Town and Country Beauty Salon for the last 38 years. And so when my business went, it just shut it down. So I couldn't do nothing. So also then I work for the YMCA and I teach dance fitness classes there. They shut down. So that went my business there. So unfortunately that I needed some much needed rest. So it was kind of like a blessing in disguise. But boy, I sure wasn't expecting that to happen. So it's been a challenge for me because I'm a go person. I'm a people person. So to have me locked in the house, thank God I have you as a beautiful wife to be able to comfort me, and we have a good time talking. So we've been cooking and working on albums and doing some projects in the house and stuff. So hey, it hasn't been that bad. Spending time with you has been the best part of the quarantine.
Okay, what did you learn about yourself during quarantine?
I learned that time is so precious. It's so important too as well. You waste a lot of time. I see that I wasted a lot of time on things just like procrastinating, not being structured during the day, to be able to make that time count for you to get the most out of that day, getting sufficient amount of rest, having time to do things like exercise and prepare your meals and stuff like that. So it's opened up those things to help me be more organized for the future. So when my time comes back, I'll be a little bit more systematically involved. And I think I'll even be a better person because I'll be more mindful of my time. Yeah, definitely.
All right. What do you think God was trying to teach us during quarantine?
Oh, Linda, that's a tough one there. I might have to take off my glasses for that one. God is trying to teach us something all the time, from what I understand. But this particular question here, yeah, he's trying to get the whole world's attention. There's a song called "He Has the Whole World in His Hands." See, he just don't have Compton or Linwood or Santa Barbara or Santa Maria in his hands. He has the whole world in his hands, and this whole world was able to be having to pay attention to what's happening in the world. So we're all affected from a worldly standpoint. So I think he just got tired of us not being obedient in a lot of different ways, not being nice to each other, not being respectful to each other, watching poverty of the world and we don't do anything about it, making things worse, cutting people's Medicare, Social Security, coverage, housing. You just can go, the list is limitless. So I think he was just getting tired of us being so mean to each other, like the police brutality, the judges, the system in a whole is just about ready to fill up. And then with this guy we've had for the last 3 years, he just said, hey, now it's going to tip it over. So now we're all in the same boat now. We're all going to have to learn to love each other. We're all going to have to learn to respect each other, get to know about each other. We can't go on what happened 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. We have to realize that, hey, take that as an example and build on it and make sure that, hey, we make some serious changes because I have grandkids I want to see grow up, Linda. I really, really do. But I mean, with the way this world is, I mean, what a thing to take away from kids playing, education. I could just go on and on. But the one good thing about this is happening, me and my client was talking about this yesterday, we hear kids outside playing again. That's something we haven't heard in the last 10 or 15 years. Just the kids hollering, wait for me, I'm coming. That's just so refreshing to my ears. So, I hope that answers your question, but I hope that we can make some things out of that too, Linda,
Well, you and I have been having this discussion because you know how upset I am about what you have to say about professional sports returning. And I tell you, I have to have football.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And you keep bringing a downer on me, talking about, no, there's not going to be any football.
Well,
and I'm like, yes, there has to be football.
Well, for the safety of our world and to get us restructured, I think professional sports in general should just put a halt on everything and try to use that influence and your skills and talents in your communities and make sure we all start taking care of our communities and understanding what's going on in there. Take this time to let those players heal. Let the game understand the game a little bit better. Understand that, hey, everybody can't afford to go to games. The ticket prices are so high. The players' salaries are just astronomical to where the ticket prices have to be high. Most families that's been out here now will never be able to take their kids to a basketball game. So they should put some programs together where people could punch in like they do lottery tickets. And if you live in a certain community, so say you live in Seattle or say you live in Sacramento, you got the Sacramento Kings. If you're a Sacramento resident, you punch in your number, and every so often they pull 10 people and give them a chance to come to a basketball game and enjoy, something. And you change the dynamics and you let the community know you're really getting involved, and you make the players, they start participating. And then now it's a good feeling in that community, because now you don't mind these players because now they interact with you. Then the police get involved, then the councilman's getting involved, and the communities have to learn to each build each other's communities, and then let it be an example so other communities can use them as an example.
Yes, but I want football this fall.
Football, Linda, hey, football is cool, but I mean, it's just like I think we need a reset. I think everybody just need to take a year off and really, really understand, if you're going to be a professional athlete, you have a duty too. You have to be responsible to, hey, give something back to those communities. I always say building good press for an athlete is so important. If I was a professional athlete, I couldn't maybe want my name to be known. But if I was in Philadelphia and I was playing for the Philadelphia 76ers, I would make sure that every kid had a pair of tennis shoes in there. I'd make sure every kid had a pair of Jordans. I'd go to Michael Jordan and say, look here, man. Look here, have this company make sure all these kids have your tennis shoes and it ain't costing them $5,000 to put on your shoes, man. Hey, that's what you can give back. I mean, you sold enough shoes to where they still ain't got to be $500. I understand, but I would make sure everybody got my Jordans on. You wouldn't even Converse, everybody be out of business. Adidas, all of them, because hey, I'm giving my shoes away. You ain't gonna do it, be a good tax write-off for you. So, I mean, it's all about that. Hey, it's all cool.
All right, enough of quarantine. We're going to change our hats here.
Man.
And we're going to talk about the police brutality that's going on and the marches and everything. So, as black people in America, we've always known about police brutality. What do you think is making it so different this time?
Well, of course, with video cameras, seeing is believing. Sometimes seeing is not believing. Sometimes people see other things. But I think this time, like I told you earlier, I think that, like you said, what was God, trying to tell us? I think the cup just runneth over. I think this was just the last straw. We had a couple of killings this year already. We've had several killings over the past 10, 15 years. You go back 30 years, we can go back and we can name killings in so many.
As far as
Rodney King.
30
years ago. So the killings ain't stopped. So what we're talking about here? I think it was just the final thing where people got a chance to during the quarantine there at home. So when you're at home, you got time to take things in. That one-eyed monster TV you watch every day, it was letting things come into people's brain that they didn't have time because they usually are working. And it made them start to thinking. And then with the couple of incidents that transpired, you got a chance to see, hey, these people were talking about something sincere. Colin Kaepernick was kneeling because of police brutality. It wasn't nothing about the flag. I mean, people needed to do a research, but because we're so judgmental in this society and in this world, all you have to do is point a finger at someone nationality or some other than you, and you get justification for whatever you're feeling about that person. And it's got to stop and it's got to change. So, I mean, I can tell you, Linda, this is something that I'm going to have to do 2 or 3 shows on. We've done some Trayvon Martin shows. We've done a couple of Trayvon Martin shows.
Three.
3 shows. Nothing has changed. But I think now people are waking up. Young people in the last 12 years, you take a person 20 years old, 12 years ago they were 10. So since they were 10, they've gotten exposed to the first black president. That in my lifetime, see, my parents never told me I could be president. They told me I could do a lot of things. But when we had Barack Obama, that to a lot of young people, they feel like there's no racial divisions. See, in their sight, because they probably have a schoolmate, they probably have a friend, they probably have somebody in their family that's of another culture by now or in some form or fashion. So, I mean, they don't get all the 1940, 1930, 1920s, 1950 stuff that went on in this world, in our society, as far as racism and torture and brutality of a race of people that has always been marginalized for everything. Sports was our way out. That's why we gravitated to sports, because it gave us a chance to get out, and even that was limited. See, when we get into sports, we be the first black. Why can't we just be the first good football player? But we have to be the first black, the first this, And once you can start targeting people that direction and label them that way, then you set up all these parameters for people to be able to label you and just miss the whole point. We're missing the point. But this is gonna make some changes. These people marching in the streets. You see all cultures. You see older people, young people. You see Caucasian, Latino, Black, Asian, Indian. You got every nationality, young, old, and that's the difference. See, before, it was about black people rioting and doing things in their own neighborhood, like when the Rodney King thing. But hey, now, you got some people out there that want their voices to be heard, because now it's affecting all of us to where they're not going to be able to have the society that they want if it's disrupted so much for us.
Okay. So, I think we were talking about this earlier. What can white people do to help the situation?
Well, that's such a broad question. What can white people do? Because I can say the people who are in position could listen. Number one, start listening and paying attention what people are saying. If enough people are saying the same thing consistently time after time, it comes a time when we gotta listen and do something about it. But just sweeping it under the rug and ignoring it, people get tired and fed up, and it's just the last straw. It just breaks. They figure they don't have no hope anyway. If you take away the last little hope they got is what they feel you could be honest, and they've seen this with their own eyes, and then you tell them that ain't what they seen, oh man, it's just, we got people that are educated now. Everybody goes to school. It's not too many people that's uneducated. Yes, it's not too many people that's uneducated anymore. Yeah. So, we have a different society. It's younger people are taking over. If you under 40, you got the energy. If you over 40, then hey, you right there in the middle. But anybody who's 60 and up, we're not really too much work. We're pretty much set in our ways. And so the world is just, we already know what the world is about, because we got a chance to experience other different decades before we got to the 2000s,
Well, as a black man in America, what solutions do you have to the police brutality? And have you ever experienced police brutality?
Ooh-wee. I haven't. I've experienced I'll say police abuse, because I've never been hit or anything. I think the brutality is when it becomes physical. I never had any physical things, but I've had the abuse and the life scared out of me when you're getting pulled over. I used to work for Church's Golden Fried Chicken. I was 16, 17 years old, and I had a 1965 lowrider, yellow. Yellow. and my dad didn't want me to get this car because he says, Keith, the police is going to stop you and they're going to pull you over. But he said, but it's your money. You can do whatever you want to do, but I'm just telling you. So the people who had the Hawkins who had the car before me, their dad, I think, was a highway patrolman or something like that. So he made sure everything on the car was legit. even the tilt steering wheel, when you tip it up, it went so far over the dashboard, so it gave you that opportunity to where they couldn't get you for the little small donut. It wasn't a regular size. So it was things of these natures that gave uh, uh, gave me the chance to get this car. But I had to fight my dad. But he was so worried about the police abusing me in this car, and I never understood that till I got older and started hearing all the things about other people being, brutalized in the Los Angeles area. Um, if people could just learn to, I think there'd be some more community involvement with the police department, like some baseball games or basketball games, or maybe they golf together and find out what's clicking in the community. Can they come to the schools where kids are not fearful of them? When they see them in the community, they can say, "Oh, that's Linda," or "That's Keith," because they went to the elementary school and interacted with them. The firemen, we have to all get involved. The ambulance drivers, so kids don't have to be afraid to call the ambulance or 911. Know why you're calling them. All these little things, the little things that builds communities up, and bring parents, give them jobs, have to give them opportunities to go visit their kids' school. Why they, and give them an hour here, let them earn, make it, we got to change the whole thing, because otherwise it's just not gonna work, So everybody just have to get involved. I just do whatever you can, bring your skills, bring your talents, bring your money, bring your resources, bring your connections. And so if you know somebody that make food, that got food, and this community suffered, bring some trucks in and drop off some food, and you don't have to get credit for it, but just start doing your part. Those little acts of kindness, like I was talking about earlier.
No. And do you think it's strange, or maybe not too strange, that these protests are happening worldwide, not just in the United States?
Yeah, that really has surprised me. That really has surprised me.
They have similar stories.
Yeah, and so there's all kinds of cultures all over the world. So I mean, we're all in this together. But I really just, my heart is just touched that these other countries are standing up and saying no more too, and that's the biggest sign and biggest compliment that we can get. So if that doesn't motivate us to change our attitudes and viewpoints about things, and everybody got to roll up their sleeves and get a little dirty, and hey, it ain't gonna be easy. Hey, it's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna ruffle a lot of feathers, but hey, if we talk about it and we hold hands and we prop each other up, we can come through this together. I know we can. We can make this happen. This is good stuff. Good stuff, yeah.
Okay, we're going to flip the script yet again.
All right. You see I got my Joe hat on. Yes, everybody for Joe 2020. Oh, I'm representing. I got Cap and I got Joe. So what's in store. Cap and Joe, you know what's in store.
So let's flip to politics.
Oh, man.
It's all intertwined.
Politics. That's good stuff there.
Okay. So why do you want Biden to win?
Well, if Bozo the Clown or Boo Boo the Fool was running, I'd want them to win right now, just to have a voice of somebody in there that maybe cared about us, or just a whole, I get a lot of emails. I lost a lot of friends. And I just want to clear it up again. I think I said it in one of the last shows before we had this pandemic. I don't hate nobody. Hate is a tough thing. I can dislike you and don't have to hate you. I can tell you I don't agree with you and I don't have to hate you. I just disagree with the way the world is going. I thought we was on a different path. But I mean, you can't have a person lighting the fire all the time. Keep throwing gas on it. We know that's why we can't get race relations together. That's why there's police brutality, because people keep stuff going. But that's why I was getting back to your question about the all over the world. That's why these people are doing it all over the world, because they see the injustice, and it's going to come on them too as well. People don't feel like they got their freedoms no more. They feel like they don't have no hope, no dreams, no aspirations. When you take that away from people all over the world, it's greed and stuff. people going to revolt, and that's what you see this uprising is. And so everybody's in this together, man. I mean, nobody's going to get out of this unscathed. Believe me when I tell you, we're all going to be touched by an angel.
Literally. What scares you the most about 4 more years of Donald Trump?
Well, I just figure I just look at the way what's going on now. And if you figure this has happened and he ain't even had 4 years, can you imagine 5 more years of stuff every day? I mean, I can't think of one day he's done anything that's helpful, beneficial, or positive to any of us. If you have, lunch on me. Tell me one thing that he's done that's benefited the masses of the people and had everybody in mind. I'm all ears. Like Ross Perot, I'm all ears. Tell me. Because like I tell you, man, when you keep the pot stirring, you keep people off kilter. And you don't want us to have harmonious relationships. That's what I think we will be missing in 4 more years. You look at how it is now. They want to cut Social Security. They don't even want you having medical coverage. I mean, come on. Just think about this, you guys. Let this sink in. Do you actually think if everybody had some type of medical coverage or coverage of some kind, we would save so much money? We would be able to attack mental health. We'll be able to attack the opioid epidemic. But there's big money in that stuff, and people better realize that. So I mean, if we as the people can make this change, and so it's going to take someone in the presidential office that cares about everyone. He's going to have to build him a strong cabinet. We got some candidates out there, some ladies out there that are tough. I always said if we ever get a woman president, the world's going to change because she's going to make sure everything is run systematically. That's the way women are. They pay attention to the details. So I'm looking forward to whoever Joe Biden picks as a vice president. He already said it's going to be a woman. I hope my guest interviewer asks me who I think he should pick, and I'll tell you. I'm already ahead of her, boy. I'm so psychic. Look at that.
This is probably the first time he's ever been ahead of me. Okay,
been ahead of me. Okay.
Just saying.
All right, Linda, don't get out.
He is a husband first and
foremost. Let's keep it going now.
Anyway, who should Biden pick and why?
Well, golly, Linda, there's so many good candidates, and I really wish we wasn't in a world where it was going to be defined about black and white. I just want a woman. See, women are different. It doesn't matter whether they're black or white. They are going to be sensitive to the needs that we need to get this stuff together. They don't like their house unordered. So they're going to pay attention to those details and make this thing run right. I wish we wasn't in the type of world we live in where if he didn't pick a black person, people would get mad. I wish we could look at the bigger picture because Joe Biden's only going to be there for a few more years. I mean, he's going to get tired. He's not going to be able to make this with the world it is. He's going to need a support system. So if I had to choose someone as my number one pick, everybody knows it would be Michelle Obama. Because in order to beat Donald Trump, you're going to need all hands on deck. You're going to need someone that has star power, someone that can go into schools, someone that can go into churches, someone that can go into Caucasian women homes, their groups, the golf course and all that. Michelle Obama could do that. She's the only one out of all the women groups could do that. She might not want to run, but sometimes you got to sit at the counter table. Sometimes you got to sit on the bus. Sometimes you might have to step out of your bag and do it. Maybe you didn't want to do it now, but maybe now it's the time to, hey, that's what I'm looking for, is someone to come in here and level the playing field for us, and then you can resign, Michelle. We just got to get this guy out of office. So we need as many people as we can to bring from many different groups as we can, the people that like it, just to vote for Joe, and then we'll know for sure what we got to do. Now, if Michelle Obama, if you don't feel you have to get involved, then I need to see you on the campaign trail doing so many amazing things. People think you are running. So that's going to be my thing to you. I supported your husband all these 12 years. I lost a lot of friends supporting Barack Obama. I mean, I lost a lot of friends. Believe me when I tell you this. I worked on campaigns. I worked in this campaign in Santa Barbara. That's what I'm doing this, my Kicking It With Keith show. You need to, Barack need to tell Joe Biden he need to come to Santa Barbara and kick it with Keith at the Town and Country Beauty Salon. Let's have some barbershop talk. That's gonna give you some notoriety right there, Joe Biden. So you need to check me out, because I guarantee I live in a city that's the fourth richest city in the world, is less than 2% black, and there is no job market. So I ask you, how did I survive 38 years with no loans, no nothing, in a community that's not user friendly for me? So we'll talk about that when you come get your hair cut, Joe.
Well, what's your second?
Let me finish myself. Okay. I'm with you. I'm trying to stay ahead of you now, because we got 45 minutes on the time. We got about 15 minutes to go. But anyway, if Michelle Obama, then I really would think Susan Rice would be the most well-rounded pick, because she's been there. She's held a position with Barack Obama before, so she's worldly known. She knows world leaders, and she'll be able to rebuild these bridges back the way Barack was trying to build them without any interference. So Susan Rice can hit the ground running, and she ain't tainted, and she ain't no joke. She don't play. See, like I said, Michelle got the notoriety, but Susan Rice, she's got the nuts and bolts how to make things work. So she would be a strong candidate, and if something was to happen to Biden, I know she would know how to make the world run. And like I said, if we got this guy who's running it now, I mean, anybody can run it. So, I mean, it's obvious to that. And if I'm wrong, I'll buy you lunch. Prove it to me. It's not a problem for me. After those two, I tell you, it's a tough choice, because all the candidates are fabulous. If I had to go on somebody from a financial standpoint, I'm going to take Elizabeth Warren, because I think she's got the financial stuff to know how to make it get back together, because she scares people, and she's an educator. So, like I said, women would be my whole cabinet. Joe, make sure women's your whole cabinet. That way, things going to run real smooth. Kamala Harris and Val Demings, they would be excellent picks too. I just think Kamala Harris might scare people off because of her aggressiveness, and people take that wrong. But maybe after all this stuff that's going on in the world now, maybe they don't want to see that. That's a strength that she has. She's a prosecutor. So, I mean, she's going to stick to the facts and the details. Kamala Harris ain't no joke. Now, if Joe picked Kamala Harris, he got a fighter there, Jack. She ain't going to back down. I mean, she'll back up Joe. If you're going to be in a fight, I'll have Kamala with me, because I know she'll throw a couple punches. She might run, but she going to throw a couple punches. She from the hood, so I mean, But Kamala Harris, she's really an American that really has gotten a chance to get the exposure of the whole world. She's gotten to see the world from a different standpoint, especially from being a minority, and then coming from a culture family, and coming here and, living in San Francisco. So, you get a lot of dynamics. You get a lot of things inside of you, and you realize, hey, like she told Joe, that little girl was me. See, that's deep. See, so right now you think that don't resonate with Joe? That put Joe, let him know, look here, whatever I did in the past, I got to clean this up. We got to clean this up. So, I mean, Val Demings, she's probably the strongest candidate from a system point, because she knows how things run from a police standpoint and things like that. So she would be a good cabinet member. But I mean, he can't lose with any of them. Amy Klobuchar, I mean, even though she comes with some baggage like everybody else, I mean, but at least I know she would get in there and fight like hell with Joe and give him all she got. And that's what you're going to need, is people that's willing to do stuff like that, stand up and be there for Joe. And I don't know any other ladies, but I really need everybody to get their pencil and pens out and write Michelle a couple of, just write her. Since she like to go high, I'm coming low. See, you hired Michelle, I'm going low. I'm asking all my viewers out there, anybody that watched the Kicking It With Keith show, anybody that's a Democrat or going to vote or don't know what to vote, I'm asking you, write Michelle a letter and just say, save us. That's all I'm asking you to do. And you could resign. Get Joe in and resign. There's nothing in the Constitution say you can't quit your job. And you can go back and plant your little garden again that homeboy destroyed. You can go back and do your programs again, and we'll get us another vice president. We just got to get this guy out. So we got to play tough ball. This is a chess game. This ain't checkers. If you think Donald Trump is playing checkers, you're going to lose. We're going to lose. I'm telling everybody out there, this ain't no joke. This guy plays for keeps. He ain't playing marbles. With no little marbles, he got the stillies. He trying to knock you out the circle. And you from the hood, you know about what I'm talking about when I tell you the stillies. Everybody want the stillies. You don't know nothing about that. Get you some marbles. Them the little silver ones like the ball bearings. Pow, you can knock them out the circle. You win all the marbles. Donald Trump is not playing around with us, you guys. You got to get out and vote. You got to make your vote be counted. All you rappers, all you people, I hope I can get to Charlemagne before I get out of here. All you rappers and all you people out here, use your money. Start buying some of these buses, rent some rental cars, use the Uber drivers, get people to the polls. If you young people see these old people can't stand, you get on the square, you stand till the old people get ready to come in, we go get them out the car, bring them in, they can walk in and vote. So they don't have to stand in line for 6-7 hours. We put on the bus, hey, we'll get them some food. That's what you rappers could do with your money. That's what you entertainers could do with your money. That's what you football players, basketball players, NASCAR drivers, horse races, that's what y'all could do with your money. Make sure people can get to the polls to vote. Inner cities, where it ain't nowhere and all this stuff, get on the internet now. Find out who can't vote, who don't have transportation, and that's where you guys start organizing. You see them people marching on in different cities? Use that energy. Young people got the energy to do this. So we got to tap into them. Pay them some money for their time, and they're going to work for us, and we're going to change this thing around. And hey, we can say goodbye, Felicia, to Donald Trump. He's gone. And then maybe we can all, just like Rodney King say, can't we all just get along? That would be really nice. One day I would love to just wake up after November the 5th and know he's on his way to San Jose. Talk to me, Linda.
Well, he's going to Florida.
They're going to Florida anyway. They might not want him in San Jose.
No. What do the young people need to know to make sure that we have all of them to go out and vote?
Young people know it's their time, and their time is coming. Now they can get involved, and they can become the congressmen, and they can become the senators, because the guard is changing. Mitch McConnell's old. I don't care if he win or not, but he's old. He only going to be there for so long. So see, when they talk about Joe Biden old, you better talk about Donald Trump being old. You better talk about Mitch McConnell being old. You better talk about all them guys been there for 30, 40 years and ain't been no changes for nobody look like me or you. Just think about it. See, these people sell off their stocks. They do all the dirty stuff, and we don't sit down. We should be in an uprising. You see, like an uprising now, we should be outraged with how they stealing money from us, how they taking money from our schools, how they're not supporting the police departments in the right way. Don't look the other way. Don't look the other way. Make everybody be accountable for their own actions. And that's how things are changed. So, I mean, all hands on deck, all Democrats, anybody who got any resources, buses, use them. Make sure you go in your communities within 100-mile radius, and you make sure everybody's going to the polls. Young people, this is your time. You either vote now, or I don't know what's going to happen to you. I'm 62 years. I'll be 62 years old next time I do the Kicking It with Keith show, God willing. But all I'm telling you, if you're young, you guys need to really, really band together and figure out what your future is. But it's yours to be had. So you need to get out and vote and start work and represent yourself in this in that arena, in the communities, and making the changes, and things are going to happen. Guarantee you.
All right. Now that you're gotten a little bit off of your soapbox.
Yeah, thank you.
Joe Biden made a comment to Shalimar, the God, about you ain't black and you don't know who to vote for. You weren't upset by that, but the news media spent pretty much 2 days on it. So would you mind share with the public why that was not upsetting
man,
to you?
come on, people. This is 2020. Come on, we better than this. We bigger than this. We sharper than this. I mean, come on now. You see, I got my Joe hat on. all I can tell you is this. I wasn't upset because there was nothing to get upset about. Uh, somebody telling me I ain't black, that ain't the worst thing they can tell me. See, because that shouldn't be offensive to you. If you had to choose between who you gonna vote for, between Joe Biden and Donald Trump again, and you black, I'm telling you, you ain't black. Now, you don't like that, that's your problem. Because like I tell you, it take a hell of a person to be a black person nowadays. And if you don't understand that Donald Trump is trying to take us out, that's all I can tell you. And when I say us, it ain't just black people. You better get a clue. He's coming for you too. See, we'll be enduring. We've been enduring for a long time. See, we done survived slavery. We done survived everything, and we still here. Only thing been here longer than black people is a roach. That's all I can tell you. Do your research. We've been here since the beginning of time. You know, all I'm saying to you is that this is real stuff here. This is real stuff. Charlamagne the God, you about 40 years old. I got kids your age. Hey, you know, you got a platform. I hope you can really, really use it to really, really show all sides. And don't be so demeaning and trying to dig and get a groove, get something, you know, a sound bite. You know, hey, Joe Biden been out there. Yeah, you know, Joe Biden has been on the battlefield for 40 years, so I would expect him to make some mistakes. But I mean, hey, what he was just trying to say is like, with the plight of what we got in front of us and the road we got in front of us, and we see what the road that we're on now, yeah, if you're a black person, I mean, and already called you an SOB, what else he got to tell you? You know, it ain't like he go to Compton to come have a meeting. He ain't having no real rallies in Compton. If he was really concerned about you, he'd come have a rally in your neighborhood. But where does he go? You just think about it. Look at the cities, look at the chart. But enough about him. Hey, I want to thank you for coming and tuning into the Kickin' with Keith show. I tell you, it was a challenge for us. Next clipping will be a little bit better. I just want to leave you with a little thought here. I got about another minute to go, I think it is, 40-some seconds. Just always keep in mind of Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, Katherine Johnson, Sean Bell, Eric Gardner, Mike Brown, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, Fidel Castro. That's just to name a few. Just keep them in mind and let them keep their families lifted up in prayer. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Kickin' It with Keith show today. My name is Keith Marshall. I've had a good time. I want to thank my host, interviewer, my wife Linda. I tell you, you know, we made it together through this. I tell you, you know, the best gift God could give a man is a good wife. That's all I can tell you. And I just want to let everybody know, we as people, as human beings, we all need to take inventory of our moral compass to see exactly where we are at sea. That's all I can tell you. So thank you for your time and efforts. God bless you. Thank you for tuning into the Kickin' It with Keith show, number 170. We're looking for number 171. God bless you. Peace and keep the faith. Hey, Grover Washington time. Good stuff. That was good. Thank you, Linda, for helping me out. All right. Peace, everybody.